Hi, everybody. Let's get the software you're going to need for CS160 installed on your Mac. Now, you probably have this email in front of you. This is posted on Moodle as well if you need to go look there. And so we're going to scroll down a little ways here to the Mac section because there's a number of pieces of software that we're going to have to install. The first thing that we'll install is Visual Studio Code, and then we'll install the newest version of Python, and then we'll install Git. And finally, we'll come down here and download this script, which will install Jupyter Lab, which is the software we're going to use to write all of our Python code. So I want to walk you through this each step at a time. So if I click on this Visual Studio Code download link, it's going to take me over here to this page. You're going to choose one of these over here. If you have an Intel chip, you can choose this option. If you have one of the new M1s, you can choose this option. If you download this, you're just going to get the normal package that you can install for Macs. And so you can just unzip that and then you'll have that to run. And I think you can probably go ahead and do that. If we come over here to Python, we got to be a little bit more careful. We're going to come down to the downloads link right here, and we should have auto-selected Mac OS for you. If not, you can come down here and select that. The important thing here is that we make sure that we have at least 3.10 installed on our machine. 3.10.1 or 3.10.2, either of those will work for us as long as it's at least 3.10. If we just click on that link, it's going to, again, give us this package downloader, and we can download and install that in turn. I'm sure you can get that done as well. Finally, we're going to come over here and we're going to install Git with this link right here. And so if we click on this link, it's going to take us to our GitHub page that has a lot of instructions. We're going to scroll on down and we're going to look for the Mac instructions right here because this is what we need. Really, the only thing that we're looking for is this link right here. If we click on this link, it's going to take us over to SourceForge, which holds the Git installer for us. And again, this is just a DMG package that we can download and click on to install. And so you can go ahead and do that. Make sure you have all three of those pieces of software installed before you continue with this next link. So this next link right here is a script that's going to install all of the particular software we're going to use to develop Python. And so if I click on this link, it's going to take me up here to Box, and it's going to load eventually. And we're going to be able to see the script that we have written here that we're going to run. Now, we're just going to go over here and click on the download button to download that to our machine. We want to make sure that we save this file. And we're going to jump in here. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my data directory, and I'm going to create a new folder called CS160 Spring 22. And I'm going to save this build mac student.sh file inside this new directory. So I'm just going to go ahead and save that. So to run this script that we just downloaded, I'm going to go up here to my little search tool up here in the corner on my Mac, and I'm going to type terminal, and it's going to bring me up to this window right here. Some of us have probably used this. Some of us might not have used this. So at this point, it's good to stop and check to make sure everything got installed correctly. And so the first thing I want to test here is I want to type Python 3-version, and I want to see that I actually have access to Python 3.10.1, which is what I previously installed. You might have installed a slightly different version of Python on here, and so that's what you should see. As long as we see 3.10, we're okay. We also want to make sure that we can see the version of Git that we installed previously. It doesn't really matter what version we have here as long as it's 2 point something. But you can see that I have 2.32. There are later versions than that. And so if that's what you downloaded, that's fine. So as long as both of these showed up right here, we're okay to continue. Now, I said that I went ahead and downloaded that script to the data directory, and I put it in CS160 Spring 22. And so I'm going to move into that directory. I'm going to use the cd command, which is change directory. And I'm just going to say data/CS160 S22. And I'm going to go in here, do an ls, and you can see the script is right there. So everything that I do is going to be installed in this directory, and we'll see that again in a few moments. To run this script, I'm going to go ahead and type source and then dot and a / and the name of the script, build macstudent.sh. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter here, and this is going to run for about 2 or 3 minutes, depending on how fast your internet connection is. You can see that they're going to get a little bit of output here as we go through, just confirming what it is that we're installing. I'm going to go ahead and let this run. And you can see a lot of this I've already got downloaded. You can see it's using the cached version. You're probably going to have to download this as this runs, which may take you a little bit longer. Okay, I did go ahead and pause that video for a while. It did take me about 3 or 4 minutes for this to finish, and there was a lot of text that scrolled by, so that's okay. What we really want to see is that we see successfully installed. This might not be exactly at the top of your screen, but it should be up there somewhere. And we shouldn't see any error messages down here. If we see all capital errors down here, then something went wrong. So what's important to say is that this is the directory that things are installed in. And so here is my home directory, and then here is where everything is living. You can see the files that were produced listed down here. If you did have any errors, if anything went wrong, definitely email me. And when you email me, please include this CS160.log file, because this keeps track of everything that happened during the install process, so I can see if something failed to install. So we can go ahead now and we can run Jupyter Lab running this particular command over here. And the way that we're going to do that is just /run jl.sh. And that's going to go ahead and bring Jupyter Lab up inside your web browser. It's going to take a minute for this to happen. And so we'll just pause and wait for that to pop up. So we're going to see a little bit of output here in the terminal window, and eventually it's going to pop up over here in our web browser. It's going to work a little bit and spin up, and then we're going to be presented with our interface. Great. And so we got this up. I went ahead and I've slipped this over to the dark theme. You can leave it on the light theme, whatever your preference is there. There's also a lot of configuration settings in here in terms of font size and such. So this is going to be where we are when we're developing all of our Python code. In particular, we'll be using these notebooks right here. You can navigate over here through the file system. We're going to store everything in this notebooks directory, which we saw previously. And just to double check that everything is installed correctly, we're going to come down here. We're going to open this terminal right here, and it's going to give you a terminal right here inside of Jupyter Lab. And we want to run that Python and that Git command just to make sure we have access to the correct versions. And so here, I just want to type Python -- version, and I want to see 3.10 point whatever you installed. And I also want to go ahead and do git.version or -- version, and that's going to show me 232. Which is what I have installed. You may see a higher number right there. As long as you got this inside of Jupyter Lab, everything is installed correctly, and then we're going to be ready to go. The last thing I want to show you right here is that we can go ahead and close that. It's going to take us back to our little launcher. When you're done working for the day or for the session, you want to make sure that you shut down Jupyter Lab correctly, because Jupyter Lab is really running over here in this little terminal. And we want to make sure that we shut that down so it doesn't continue to run. And so I'm going to come down here under the file menu, hit the shutdown button, and go ahead and confirm that. And that's going to close the browser window, and we'll come over here and we can see that this is all shut down over here. So you've successfully installed Jupyter Lab and Python. And so now we're ready to start coding in CS160. If you've got any questions, please let me know, and I will see you in class.